Hey, what's up? Jaron Noble here, and today I'm going to share with you 3 little-known ways that you can make use of Ableton's auto pan to add some movement and excitement to your tracks. So the first effect that you can get is this pumping effect, and this is great if you want that kind of side chaining sound without having to use compressors and all those and things like that. So what I have here is I have auto pan set up on this track right here in particular, and I'm going to stop these other tracks. And I'm just going to play this sound without the auto pan first. So you can hear it just sounds like a regular pad. And if we wanted to make it sound like it's getting that pumping effect with that kick drum that's playing with it, so that way we hear more of the kick, then I'll turn this on and we'll hear what it sounds like that. So the way to set that up is to turn up your amount all the way to 100%. And you want to take your phase and you want to actually set it to 0. Because what happens is when you put things out of phase, that's when you get the panning effect left to right. And we don't want that. We're actually using this now as a volume control. So if we put that to 0 and then we set it to a quarter note because that kick is happening on every quarter note, then all we have to do is now move this offset so that way it turns down the volume when the kick comes in instead of allowing it to be open when the kick comes in. So if we left this at 0, now it's playing at the same time as the kick. So what we want to do is get it so that it's playing not in time with the kick. So then we change the offset. And then the other thing is we can change the shape here to make it more, give it more of that open and close kind of feel. So if we had less of this, then it's gonna it's not gonna sound like it's dipping out as much. There you go. So then you can give it a gentler kind of feel based on the shape that you set. If you want a really aggressive kind of sound, you want it to really open and close and be rigid, then you can do that. But if you want a little bit more of a gentle or opening kind of sound, then go with less on the shape. All right, so then the next effect that I have in here is this riser effect. And I'll stop this other one and I'll play this riser effect without the pan. So all it is this arpeggiated kind of chord sound. And what I did was, with this riser effect now, we did the same thing. We take the amount, we turn it to 100%. We take the phase, we turn it all the way down to 0 because we want this to act as kind of a volume effect and not a panning effect. And then I changed the rate to 4. So now it's, instead of happening very quickly, it's going to happen very slowly. So it's going to happen over 4 bars. And it's going to give you this kind of rising effect. And I just changed the offset a little bit just so that way you don't hear the initial sound come in, just to make sure that it chops out that beginning sound so you don't hear the downbeat of this effect. And then again, the shape, it's just this sawtooth kind of shape. But what I'm doing is instead of leaving it in normal and allowing it to go from really loud to really quiet, which would be like this. So that would be kind of opposite of the effect that we want. So what I do is I hit this button that says normal, turn it to invert. And then what happens is now it becomes from quiet to loud. And we can change the shape of this so that way the effect of it is a little more drastic, or it stays a little more silent in the beginning. So you see how it gets quiet to loud and then it cuts off again. So now we can use that as a bit of a riser effect. And then the last thing I have is this arpeggiated effect. So now I have a bass line and I'm going to stop this riser effect and I'm going to play this bass line without this right here. So now we're going to use it as a bit of an arpeggiator to kind of chop up the notes as we're playing it. So this is the bass line without the auto pan. All right, so now when I turn on the auto pan, we're going to use it as an effect to kind of chop up the notes and make it sound like it's being arpeggiated and playing individual notes instead of these sustained notes. And again, the way to do that is we're taking out all of the phasing issues because we don't want it to start to pan left to right. We want to use it as a bit of a volume effect. All right, so amount is all the way at 100. The rate on this one is at 16, so I'm using the instead of the hertz, I'm using the little note symbol there, musical note, and we're syncing it to the rate of the session. So now we're playing at 16th notes, the phase is all the way at 0, and the shape is all the way up at 100 using this sine wave, because if it was just a sine wave, it would be a much gentler kind of sound, so it would sound like this. And then it sounds like it's wavering. It doesn't sound so much like it's being arpeggiated and playing those notes individually. So we take the shape all the way up to 100, and it gives us this kind of on and off kind of sound. And I played with the offset to offset it, so it gives it a little bit of kind of a swing, I guess, where it's not playing it right on the downbeat, because it can sound like it's playing ahead of the beat. So if I play this with 0 offset, versus when I play it with a little bit of offset. There you go. So you can play around with that and see where it fits best for your track, but that's how you can kind of get the notes to play in time using this as a bit of an arpeggiator. So those are the 3 different ways that you can use the auto pan as something other than an auto pan to create effect inside of your track. And now you can have something that sounds more like this. And so all of that extra sounds and movement and everything inside of your track was created using just the auto pan. So those are 3 little known ways that you can make use of the auto pan to add some movement and excitement into your track. Once again, my name is J.R. Noble. I want to thank you for stopping by to check out this video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button below if you want to get more tips and trainings like this. And drop a comment below to make sure you let me know what you liked best about this video. And if you have any questions or comments, drop those in there as well so that I can make more videos for you in the future.